fine. It's definitely can get a little lockout heavy, but there's ways to break through. It's definitely a stage where your anchors matter a lot in terms of how you break in and how you choose to go about it. I personally think Incline Tri-Stringer can do quite well here, but I don't expect to see it. That is me. Never mind. I'm so good at predicting things. I think Super Chumps are really useful at helping you break in here. And one of the nice things about Tri-Stringer is you can kind of just avoid the E-Leader and paint a lot.
Yes, and that's what this Tri-Stringer is going to have to do. They get a nice pick right off the top, almost blind, picking off Larry there on the decap. So right off the top, it feels like No More Pizza Hut just has more control over mid. They have those chumps that you're talking about, and they're moving into the enemy plat. Just a strong opening there.
Yeah, really strong opening. An incredible job there of getting set up really quickly, finding that opening pick and capitalizing on the space they could gain from it. And they're also doing a great job of creating these team fight scenarios, getting that chip damage in across all of their different weapons, really allowing them to take advantage of these situations.
Yes, you have, I think, a shot off the side. I think someone jumped off by mistake there, that being the Gal probably, and this pick from the E-Leader, taking this high ground, seeing if they can just pick off anyone on their plat for good so that they can finally move in along with the big bubbler that gets popped from that decapitator. That is going to be the leader just getting countered. I think that's the thing about having a scope. You have that extra range, but at the end of the day, someone's right in front of you, and it's just so hard to see them.
It really is, and it can make it a little bit more challenging. It's often worth it for the extra range, but we're now seeing No More Pizza Hut really looking to find a way to keep control of mid here. The Super Chumps coming out, really enabling them to do that, and a great job of taking out that mid decapitator in its level.
Yes, but Bazooka not quite going to find any picks, but going to help in having everyone just break back a little bit. But counter strikes, not the game, but the special, going to be popped there. And I think further just allows No More Pizza Hut to continue on with their stranglehold that they've had on the zone thus far. I think that having this incline bow just taking out that constant heat, making the other team go backwards, the space that they're keeping has really helped them, but finally, well runs a little bit dry and they have to.
Yeah, and I think this is where Let That Sink In might have a really nice time setting up. They have really good weapons for controlling a lot of space. That 52 gal able to use the wall and Killer Whale to really set up. And the E-Leader gonna have a couple people playing Protect the President in front of them to really make sure they're able to stay up. But Super Chumps have come out. A lot of specials coming out from No More Pizza Hut, looking to really get a push in now.
Yeah, but I think that's a really critical pick there on that Ultra Stamp, because they could have really gotten a lot of things done, and unfortunately, despite the good show of mechanics we saw there, Splatoon is going to go down that gal, and I think Chumps, they're sort of like the harbinger of a push coming. They come out and everybody moves forward with them. So 2 members down,
Yes.
so let that sink in. And they're at a bit of an issue place once again, because it looks like they're moving in for the lockdown.
Yeah, and they've been doing an excellent job at moving up really quickly when they get the opportunity. Even though this 52 gal is trying so hard to get this Tri-Stringer out of the way, not quite going to be able to, having to dodge back into mid, but living for a lot longer than I would have expected, still going, but getting stared at by 3 people. They eventually go down. The zone was not quite capped in time for Let That Sink In, and No More Pizza Hut takes game 1 of the day.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate at the end there. Like you said, Splatoon on the gal lived way longer than we would have thought. But while that's happening, while you're in a 2v1, you're hoping that your team is able to move up and take the zone while half of the team is just being preoccupied. But I guess too much pressure from No More Pizza Hut just made it so that their teammates weren't quite able to do that.
Yeah, and I really liked their timing on the Super Chumps when they were using them to break back in. They were using them in a similar way to how we've seen Tenta missiles used over the years. They're both displacement specials, so oftentimes the timing and how you want to use them to push can be pretty similar.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, and I think right off the top of the game, before we even saw the picks from either of the teams, calling out, listen, I think chumps are really good for this push, and they really did exactly that right by the book. It was very much like we get out those chumps, we stall until we can do it, and that's what got them out of the very common lockout situations you might find yourself in on a Barnacle and Dime.
Yeah, Barnacle and Dime is definitely one where you're gonna see a lot of lockouts. And I'm curious if you have any guesses as to what that sink in might want to do in terms of a counter pick.
I think they've got that E-leader to set up the E-leader for something that is kind of plays to their strengths. Probably would be in their best interest. I think especially having seen Global Gauntlet yesterday with lots of counter picks, there is better, more than an abundance of leader maps for you to pick from.
Yes.
In their case, they are going to go with Tower Shipshape as their
Interesting.
not necessarily maybe the first thing that comes to mind when I think leader map, but certainly not a detriment for them.
No, definitely not a detriment. Just a little bit interesting. Definitely can be a very steamrolly map. So if either team finds the momentum, it could easily become a knockout. There is no such thing as a... Oh, it's Sturgeon Shipyard? I can't go back to Splatoon 2 Pop Gun. You can't do that to me. I know.
Listen, there's ship in the name, close enough. Whatever. This is where the ships happen.
Jump scared by Sturgeon, a forbidden map.
Oh my gosh. Very well. Luckily, they will be at Shipshape and not Sturgeon Shipyard.
To be fair, both steamroll.
Yeah. This is anytime we end up here, I always go, whoo, brr, it's a little bit cold. That's the snowball that we're likely going to see happening here, because once a team gets going, it's really hard to stop them, especially once they get past that second checkpoint. But right off the top, that gal, we've been seeing a lot of good bets out of Splatoon, but they're not able to avoid that initial pick. Also, I think we see some changes in the comp as well.
Yeah, we see some pretty significant changes. We're seeing that Kraken, Octobrush coming out here, leave the Galaxy, and we've seen a switch over to Bulb's Tri-Stringer on the side of No More Pizza Hut. I do believe the colors are also off right now.
Maybe they've said, listen, it's our time to hatch out though.
You know,
sometimes you see something really good and you say, let me try that.
Look, Tri-Stringer's great. It's my favorite weapon in the game by quite a bit. I love the thing, but you know, it's not an easy one, sadly. Kenji doing a great job of dodging and dancing around with that Ultra Stamp. Not quite able to find anything with it though, as No More Pizza Hut not really finding the momentum yet. This first checkpoint tends to be what you're looking for to really get a push going here, and right now we're seeing Let That Sink In doing a great job of shutting down No More Pizza Hut's aggression.
Yes, and I think that's basically, like you said, very important. You can't let a team go here. Larry on this comments. Octobrush gonna get that pick. Really well clearing up that top left, but ultimately stopping to see if they can clean up everybody else. It's 2 members down for No More Pizza Hut, and all the while, I think this bow has been able to stay up. I think that's kind of their win condition, to make sure that they're able to keep that chip. But Larry, very instead of manually doing it, gonna pop that Kraken, get everyone out of the way to get their team set up for this push.
Yeah, and I mean, really great timing on that Kraken. Did a great job of disrupting how No More Pizza Hut would want to push in and set up. We're now seeing this Trizuka at the ready. After they find this pick, they might look to use this on the Tri-Stringer, but first they've got to deal with this potential flank coming out. Not going to be enough. The Tri-Stringer tapping the tower, playing super aggressively. It can sort of melee if it truly comes down to it, though it doesn't enjoy it. But Creep making it look more stable about it than it is.
Yeah, what a firefight happening on that tower. Literal backlines just fighting each other at point blank range, but as the dust settles, it seemed like Let That Sink In was in a better position, but they kind of given up that space to allow No More Pizza Hut to just kind of take it for free. Bo is going to have a little bit of chip on those members to help their teammates take that out. And we have a bit of an early tri-strike here as well. So it's a bit of a battle of the specials while both of these teams get things set up, but the leader going to stop that straight in its tracks with a really good pick there.
As leader is very prone to doing, able to really change the pace of the game with a single shot. Finding those opening picks is so important, and Adley found a great one there because it has let that sink in, truly recover mid, and now looking to set up on this right side potentially, but Creeth not going to make that quite so easy.
Yeah, like I said, I think their win condition is largely displacing this tri-strike. I think they're doing a really good job of forcing people off tower, displacing people. This Zuka is going to come out and try and take care of them, but not quite find them. However, the Gal gonna trade them out, cancel out that Jet. So right now it's kind of smooth trailing to let them sink in. They still have to use that all this time.
They do. Not major pushes coming out from either side. As snowbally as this map can be, neither side has actually found the momentum to really get it rolling. And we're seeing let that sink in, maybe finally finding it now, especially as just Felix is up on the side of No More Pizza Hut, choosing to jump out, moving away from that tower, making it really hard for No More Pizza Hut to really find the time and the opportunity they need here. But if there's a stage that you can make a massive push in overtime in, I'd say it's this one.
And you know, I think that there was a really critical Zuka that we saw there that allowed them to eke out even more points. People were kind of caught. I think the Zuka thus far hasn't been finding that much success, but two people sitting on that top right allowed them to get a pretty easy double. So this package is going to come out. Not quite sure what they're going to find. Zuka's though, the person they're targeting popped that. Wow, a double
store
here. I said, I don't know if they're going to get anything. But at the last second in their crashes, they did get a pick and then camped that jump back in. So, no one's on the tower. No one was able to get to it. Let that sink in pretty handily. Takes this win.
Yeah, they looked really good there. Seems like it was a good counter pick on their part. Not always something we get to say, especially in knowing where a lot of these teams are still getting more comfortable in figuring out what kind of counter picks they want to make. So it's always great to see them not impede themselves, to say it simply.
Yeah, and it could be really brutal to impede yourself on somewhere like Ship-Shaped Tower.
Yes.
Because Pop gun on Hydra.
Classic.
A classic Hydra out of Pop gun.
Truly. You know, if you ever are going to see Pop gun on anything, it's probably going to be the Hydra Splatling. Maybe occasionally a ranged blaster.
Pop gun, and you're like, gun? The gun is a Hydra. But
yeah.
In the meantime, No More Pizza Hut, they know exactly what they want. They've counterpicked already to Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. And I know at top level play, we've been seeing way more VAC used.
There were two of them last night in the NA League for Moonlight.
Yes. I remember even watching that. They had it on. But that now makes me think, because let that sink in, they are the ones with the charger. Are they thinking of running an Ink vac, or instead maybe changing someone to 96 and having the vac that way? That seems to be the most popular way of going at it. Or maybe you're Moonlight and you pick both.
Surely not. Surely not 2 days in a row for me. Surely I don't have to commentate that twice in 2 days.
Maybe just be called the Inkline tri-stringer. We're going to be met with
I don't need to vibe check teams this. Maybe the Splat Charger will come out here. I wouldn't be shocked to see their 52 potentially switch over to a 96 gal. They're not that similar, but in my brain they are.
Right? I'm like, they're both gals. Close enough.
They're both two-shot. That's the same thing.
That's the, I don't play either, so as far as I'm concerned, they're exactly the same. But
exactly. We're sticking with the E-Leader, going with the Kraken kit and the vanilla
team.
And the Custom Blaster coming out here. Interesting. Inkbrush will be very disruptive and distracting, going for a lot of flanks there from Kenji probably. I'd imagine Larry's going to be going for similar things on the Octobrush, also aided by that Zipcaster to be able to break in like that. Very interesting composition changes here.
For sure. I was actually thinking that we'd see a switch on that bow, perhaps to the vanilla kit where they have...
I do love the Toxic Mist.
Yeah, you can Toxic Mist people, make it a little bit harder on that Rainmaker, but they said we don't need the assistance of that Toxic Mist at all. They get a very easy early check, and while I usually say on Scorch Gorge, we're not really looking for a knockout. Knocking out here can be so difficult due to how far in the enemy spawn you are. Given that aggressive opening, I wouldn't be super shocked if we did end up seeing that.
No, it wouldn't shock me. It is definitely a harder stage to do it on. And it's a shame that they let go of mid in the process of getting that push. Might have been worth it to try and keep a player or two up and around. But they're doing a great job of making it so that Let That Sink In is having a hard time finding the momentum to go forward. And a great job here from Creeth of just finding their opportunities to take their shots.
Yes, once again, the bow has been a thorn in their side practically this entire set. So they clean everybody out of mid. We have a pickup from the Zap, no doubt, who must have put down their cooler already, so they are free, and that allows their backline to keep on chipping people while they make this push. And you see the brush trying to just find whatever they can. They get counter brushed here from Polari, who then pops the zip to try and that pick on the Rainmaker, but their teammates do it in their stead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a great distraction and a great way of dividing up No More Pizza Hut. It really made it so that Let That Sink In could focus on the Rainmaker. Two players had to look at that Zipcaster, and it found a pick in the process. A really great way of shutting down that push. The question is if they can turn that into forward momentum, especially because No More Pizza Hut still has such a firm hold in mid.
Yes, we have that one pick from Adley there on this custom E-leader, and it just feels like Let That Sink In. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the iron grip that No More Pizza Hut has on mid, but you see, they don't even have points yet. They're working on the pop now. Azuka is active, trying to find Creeth. Not quite going to happen. They're moving along with the Kraken, but moving forward and actually getting those points, much less that check, has been really difficult for them. We're already past the halfway point, and 2 members are down, so I would assume they would hopefully get it now. They do. They get the dunk, and we'll see if they're able to move forward enough to get this.
Yeah, the chumps coming out not really going to be enough to deter them here, but the pop going in favor of No More Pizza Hut makes it hard for them to find what they need. And a great grab, but a great shot from the E-leader coming out, keeping No More Pizza Hut from being able to drop it down. Creeth now going to have to work on forcing away Splatoon, but Larry looking to come in for the flank. And that's a rough spot to leave the Rainmaker in, because you can get leads so quickly, and there it is. Almost making it all the way up to the ramp now, looking to get some extra points, down to 30. The Kraken just ended. What a great job of grabbing that momentum Let That Sink In did from that shot Adley made.
Exactly. I was just thinking to myself that was a very unfortunate land to try and drop it off the right. You might want to just drop it down the ramp, deter them a little bit, because you always have the risk, despite the fact that it's by the grates, which is way more risky to go, that the other team is willing to take the risk. But the Zuka gets popped. That's 2 members down, and that's especially not what they want to see, seeing as though they are now at the disadvantage. So Larry just harassing their team there on that step.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Zipcaster's best at. It's a distraction, it's a nuisance, and it's something that suits the Octobrush so well. Rainmaker does get picked off. Larry finds another. Going to be looking to find Kenji now. It's brush v brush. Kenji popping that killer whale, forcing Larry to have to skirt around, looking to head towards that Rainmaker. Probably not the player wanting to grab it. It wouldn't shock me if Kenji wants to go over through that left side, but Adley says no to that. Rainmaker resets, 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think Let That Sink In. With that leader, for the most part, it seems like the tri-stringer on No More Pizza Hut has been doing a good job of just controlling everything. But they cannot forget that they are up against a leader that can just explode them at any moment. And now we are headed towards the last few seconds. We have Splat Kirby on that bow, getting them down to stop overtime from triggering. Really good pick to have at that buzzer beater moment.
Mhm.
That is going to be, let that sink in, taking the set.
Yeah, and really great to go to a game 3 so early on. Wouldn't surprise me to see No More Pizza Hut make a pretty good losers run with the showing they just put out there. Felt like they just needed a way to figure out how to disrupt the leader, force them away from where they were. And admittedly, a lot of what happened there